Welcome to a new fantasy adventure on Dreamscape. This dark story takes you to an eerie bog where the sinister creature Jarum is up to mischief. A daring hero faces the encounter with evil. The biggest gesture you can give me is a like. If you like my stories, feel free to leave a subscription and activate the bell so you don't miss any more stories. Well then, let's dive into the story. Jarum, the terror of the moor. Night had fallen on the enchanted moor as the lonely wanderer Oren wearily rested at the foot of an old giant tree. For many days now, he had been traveling in search of the legendary crystal treasure that was said to be hidden somewhere in these inhospitable swamps. Exhausted, Oren unrolled his sleeping bag and lay down. The fire crackled soothingly while the stars twinkled above him. Soon sleep overtook him. In the middle of the night, the wanderer suddenly startled awake. Had there been a noise? Oren listened, strained into the darkness. There a rustle in the bushes, a growl, a strange whisper that wafted across the moor. Oren felt the hairs on the back of his neck stand up. Something evil was afoot here. Cautiously, he reached for his sword and set off in search of the source of the eerie sounds. The deeper he penetrated into the misty swamp, the louder the sounds became. Suddenly, Oren's torch was extinguished by an invisible gust, and he stood there in complete blackness. The eerie presence was very close. Then, right next to Oren, a hissing voice sounded.
"Who dares to invade my domain?"
Startled, the wanderer wheeled around. In front of him floated a gloomy figure, wrapped in torn shadows. Its eyes blazed with suppressed rage. Oren wanted to draw his sword, but his limbs were paralyzed. The terrifying figure came closer and circled him.
"I am Jarum, the ruler of this moor, and you will serve me forever."
Horrified, Oren tried to escape, but the creature held him captive with its dark power. It would devour his soul. Then a miracle happened. A bright light appeared in the sky.
"Stop, Dark One!"
A melodic voice rang out.
"This realm is cursed, but this person is not yours."
It was an elf, surrounded by glistening light. Jarum's disfigured features reflected hatred and fear. The elf raised her staff and sent a flash of light down on the creature. Shrieking, Jarum backed away. His shadowy form began to dissolve.
"Flee, Wanderer!"
The elf cried.
"I'll stop him!"
Without looking back again, Oren ran. Jarum's marrow-shaking screams continued to echo across the moor until they finally faded. Gasping, Oren collapsed on the edge of the bog. The elf had saved him. From that day on, he avoided the cursed marshes. Oren would rather do without the legendary crystal treasure than expose himself to Jarum again. For many a secret should rest forever in the realm of shadows. So Oren left the moor again without having achieved anything. But the story of his gruesome encounter he carried out into the world and told it to all who wanted to hear it. And so Jarum became a dark legend that made people shudder for a long time. In the years that followed, Oren roamed many more lands in search of adventure and forgotten treasures. But nowhere did he again encounter such a sinister creature as the ruler of the moor. He often silently thanked the unknown elf who had saved him. One day, however, the rumor of a magical artifact lured him into a dark forest. Oren could not resist the temptation, even though an inner voice warned him. Courageously, he advanced into the wilderness. At the foot of an ancient giant tree, he finally discovered a weathered chest, overgrown with vines. With a pounding heart, Oren opened it. A shadow escaped directly into his face. Jarum had only been waiting for him.
"You can't escape me!"
The creature screeched.
"Your soul is mine!"
Oren felt icy darkness take possession of him. He had underestimated Jarum, now he was lost. Then he heard the elf's melodic voice.
"Not yet."
A glaring flash of light drove Jarum away. Dazed, Oren sank to the ground.
"Thank you for saving me again,"
he whispered.
"But he never gives up.
Sadly, the elf nodded.
Flee. I'll lock his chest forever.
This time Orin heeded the warning. Jarum was more powerful than he thought. Never again would he enter its realm, as tempting as the treasures there were. Some secrets were never to be revealed. So Orin thanked that unknown elf a second time for his life. And though he never met Jarum again, he knew that evil always awaited his return. But the light would always be there to stop it.